Welcome at Blender 2.8. For today I'll show you how to easy model a dice, and we will add some colors, light and a black background. As always, I got a tiny display down here which will show you what hotkeys I'm using. The first thing we are going to do is delete this light and delete this cube, and we will spawn in a plane. And from the top view with numpad 7, we will zoom in and go into edit mode with tab. Then we're going to make two loop cuts. We do that with Ctrl R, select it, drop it down. Ctrl R, select it, drop it down. Now make sure you got the vertices in the middle selected, then press X and remove vertices. Now we're going to spawn in a circle, press Shift A, circle. And we're going to change some values down here. We're going to change the vertices to 8. We're going to change the radius to 0.9. Now we added that. Let's close up the options. Press Alt A to unselect everything. And now with the mouse we're just going to select everything on this part of the green line. Alt Shift and now select everything on this part of the red line. Press X, remove vertices. Now we are simply going to connect these dots up and make some planes between in. I'm just going to drag my mouse, select 4 dots, press F. Those 4 dots, press F. We're going to add in a mirror, so go to the modifier tab, select add modifier and add in a mirror. Straight away this part will be mirrored. We only need to do the other side. Do that by selecting Y2. Now we're going to add in a small circle for our dots, Shift A. Add in circle, open the options and change the value to 0.2. Now let's place this somewhere around here. So 3 blocks off and 1 block off. Then zoom in for a bit. Let's press E for extrude, press S for scaling, hold your Ctrl and move it in once. Go to the front view with numpad 1, press E for extrude, press Z to lock it up and down, and hold your Ctrl and move it 2 blocks down. Go back to the top view with numpad 7, press E, press S, hold your Ctrl, move it in once, press E, press S, hold your Ctrl, move it something like this would be fine. Zoom in for a bit, press E, S, Ctrl, move it like so, and then one more time, press E, press S, hold your Ctrl and move it all the way to the middle. Until you see the arrows doing like a compass, then just click it down on the mouse button and remove double vertices, and these vertices has melted together. Next thing up, go to File and Save View. Now you want to turn on the transparency. So when we drag selection box this down here, everything will be selected. Press Shift D to copy this. Hold your Ctrl and just move it down here. Then zoom in for a bit. Press Alt A to unselect everything. Then make a drag selection box by clicking in an empty field. And make sure you select all the dots on the other side of this red line. Press X, remove vertices. And if you go out of edit mode, you can see we have everything copied. Of course, we need to still connect it together. So go back into edit mode, press Tab, numpad 7 to go into top view. And also you can see the colors are different. That's because Blender doesn't know which side is inside and which side is outside. So press A to select everything. Then press Shift N. And now it will flip to the right side. Next thing up, we need to connect some dots together. And always make sure you select 4 dots. In this case there are a few of these that we can just connect together. And now we simply have to add in a few more vertices, so I'm just going to select this one down here because I know 100% for sure that it's on the grid. Going to press Shift D and move this to the middle. Then I'm going to press E, hold my Ctrl, or if you want to be sure you can also press Y to lock it for up and down. And I'm just going to place this down here so we can have 4 dots connected together. This one down here, so we can do those 4, etc. And we just need to have one over here. I'm just going to press Shift D while this vertex is selected. Or better to say vertex, because one dot is a vertex and multiply is vertices. In this case, with this one being selected, I hold Shift, select those 3, press F to fill in the blank, and these 4. and do the same on this side until we have this. Go out of edit mode, you can see we added 6 dots with a little bit of depth in it. The next thing we're going to do is in edit mode, we're going to select everything, then hold Alt and Shift and unselect this outer edge, then go to front view with numpad 1, press G, press Z to lock it, hold your Ctrl and move this up until it's the half of this block down here. Should be fine. If we go out of edit mode and would add in a subdivision surface, just going to close up the mirror so you can see better what we are doing here. I'm just going to put this on 3 and now you can see it looks smooth. Also, other mouse button on it and shade smooth. But meanwhile we're editing, we just want to turn this off as much as possible. We're just going to zoom out. Then we're going to put this somewhere about here. Make always sure it's off the red edge, or else if we need to do something in edit mode, this will be over here. It will block our view. With this one being selected, press Shift D, move this all the way down here. And now we're going to make 5 dots. Go into edit mode. We're just going to select these 2 dots, then press X to remove it. Then we're going to select all of these dots on this side of the line. Press X and remove vertices. Now let's select all of these. Press G to move it. Press X to lock it for left and right, and hold your Ctrl and just move it down here. Now the only thing that we have to do is go to this mode, this edge mode down here. Select this edge while holding Shift. Select this edge and this edge. Then just click on only edges and faces. Go back to vertex mode. Select this dot. Select this dot. Put other mouse button and merge vertices as last one we selected. So this first one goes to the last one and are now melted together. Hold your Shift. Select this one, and this one. Press F to face it up. You just need to have 1 dot down here. So I'm just going to select this one. Press E, hold Ctrl, move it down here. Select the 3 other dots with it. Press F, and then the last 4. Press F, we have 5. But if we go out of edit mode, we can see it looks a little bit odd. So what we will have to do is go back in edit mode, press Z and then click on the wireframe so we see the grid. And make sure you select this dot down here. And you can see it's 1 block off the line, and here it's 3 blocks off the line. So press G, press X, we're gonna make this one 2 off the line. Then press G, press Y, move this up. So it's also over there, 2 off the line. And when we go out of edit mode, press Z and go back to solid mode, you can see it looks a lot better. Zoom out for a bit, place this one near the 6. And always make sure that you hold Ctrl, because we need to later on melt this all together and it needs to be perfectly on the grid. With this one being selected, press Shift D, hold Ctrl, move this one up to the middle, just like so. Going to edit mode, all we have to do now is select these ones and remove vertices. Now let's select this dot, press E to extrude and place this dot in the middle. Select this one and this one with it. Press F to fill in the gap. Reselect everything while holding Shift. Press F and this is done. Number 4. Move this up over here. Now select number 5 again. Press Shift D. Place it down here. And what we're gonna do now is just close the subdivision surface, open the mirror and apply the mirror, because we cannot mirror to make it number 3, because if I want to keep those 3 here and remove this one will also be removed. You cannot mirror that up. This is really the only one you cannot mirror. And also counts for number 2, of course. So what we do now is select all of these, remove vertices, select all of these, remove vertices. So now we're going to need to connect the rest up. And if I count well, then I just need to select this dot, press E for extrude, place this down here, so we can select these 4. Then I'll have to do this one more time. Just gonna place this here, select these dots, press F to fill in the gap, select this one, that one, this one and that one. and fill in the gap. And I'm just going to quickly do that with all the others. And now we have a part with 3 dots. If I would just turn on the subdivision surface, things should just be fine. Just gonna turn this one off, place it down here. Then I'm going to duplicate this one to make 2. Going to go back into edit mode. Then I'm going to select all of these, press X, remove vertices. Now I just need to connect all these dots up. We also need to make sure we have 1 dot in the middle, so I'm just going to select this one, place it down here, select all the 3 dots with it, press F to fill in the gap. Done. Now we have a number 2, but as you can see, they are a little bit too far away. So what we're going to do, let's go into wireframe mode, hit Alt A to unselect everything, then we only want to select this dot. And as you can see, it's 2 off here and 2 off here. We want to make 1 of it, so let's press G for moving them. Hold your control, move them down once and move them offside once. Going to do the same with the other one. Select all of these, press G, hold control, move it up once, move it up once. And if we now go into solid mode, you can see this looks a lot better. Going to go to top view with numpad 7, move this up all the way down here. Now I'm going to select number 3 one more time. Going to hit Shift D, place it down here. Let's go into edit mode, and this time we are going to remove everything on this side of the green line. Press X and remove vertices. Going to select another bunch down here on the other side of this red line. Press X, remove vertices. Sorry if I go a little bit too quick. This needs to be removed too, but it's actually very simple. Let's add in another mirror. Always make sure the mirror is on the top. I will just show you in a second why. Let's turn off Y. And now if I would turn on the subdivision surface, you can see it doesn't look good. Blender always starts from the top and work itself to the bottom. What it does right now is first smooth off the edges and then mirror it to the side. Now if we would put the mirror on top, it will first mirror it and then smooth the edges. And if we go out of edit mode, you can see we have number 1 done. All we have to do right now is go to the front view with numpad 1 and apply the mirror. Go into edit mode, select all, press G and press Z, move them up to the top while holding Ctrl. And this is actually, I should have done this at the beginning. So make sure when you made the first part to move it up from the orb 1 block. So you don't have to do this later on. I have to apply everything, select all, press G, press Z, move it up and do this at all of these. And applying a mirror, you always have to do that outside the edit mode, or else it will start complaining. That's okay. Going to select all of these and just move them a little bit closer. And I'm going to turn off transparency mode. I'm going to select number 2 and put it on number 1. Then from the front view, with number 2 being selected, I'm going to rotate with R and hold Y, so it will only rotate like this. Hold your control and move this down here so it looks like this. I don't exactly know if there is a right order for this. I'm going to move this, press G, press Ctrl, place it down here. Front view, press R, press Y, hold Ctrl and move this over here. Number 4 is going to be onto the bottom. Also going to do that from the front view. I should have closed that up. Going to do the same with number 5. I'll place this here and number 6 onto the top. And then I select one. Go to wireframe. I see that I have number 5. Going to go to side view with numpad 3. Press R for rotate. Press X to lock it. Hold your control. Move this one down here. And then I'm going to select number 6. Side view. R, X. Hold your control and move it like so. And if we go into solid mode, you can see we have almost our cube finished. I'm going to make a drag selection box and select everything. And if I'm not wrong, everything should be selected. Go to wireframe, I've got everything. So now what we want to do is hold shift, select number 1. So number 1 become primary selected and all the other ones are secondary selected. And now if I would press Ctrl J. Everything has connected to number 1. If we would go into edit mode, we only have to do other mouse button and remove double vertices. It removed 28 vertices. If we go out of it, we turn on our subdivision surface. You can see we have one smooth looking dice. So now we need to add some color. In this case, we're going to go to Material tab. We will select the default material. Just change the name to dice. Then we're going to open the preview and it looks different than cycles. That's because we are on the Eevee render. Go to the render tab, change Eevee to cycles. Then I'm just going to change the light paths from 12 to 5 so it will have lesser bounces. 5 is enough. It will also save some time on the rendering. And before I'm going to change the performance tiles for the people who doesn't know, just going to press F12 and then you see these tiny little tiles and press escape. And I'm going to change this to 256 because this size of tile is for me the fastest way to render this, and as you can see goes a lot faster. Still, you can see we need to add in some light and colors, but when we go back to the color, open the preview, it looks a lot better. I don't understand why Eevee doesn't have it like this. Maybe it has a reason. Maybe also because it's still a beta and they need to change some stuff here and there, and the Eevee render is just new. In this case, we're going to give this some glossiness. I'm just going to put this on 0.1 and put this one on 0.12. This is actually the metallic look. I like to have a touch of this. It does make the difference. If I would turn this all the way up, there is nothing, so I cannot just only work on this. Now let's move this a little bit up like so. Let's add in another one of a line, select dice, and I'll copy this dice so we have the same reflection stuff. And I'm going to change this to number 2, open this one and change this all the way to black. Instead of doing this in render mode, we have something very easy. It's kind of a display preview mode. In 3D, automatically you will see a reflection that looks like a tree. That's because there is an HDR mode turned on, and when you click on it you can change other settings. Of course this won't be shown in your final render, but you can turn this on in cycles, but that is something I will show another time, probably in a quick tip video. But in this case we can exactly see what we're doing. So let's change some of these dots. Going to go to front view, hit tab to go into edit mode, hit Alt A, and actually before continuing let's turn off the subdivision surface so it will take less time to think for Blender. Turn on the transparency. Now make a drag selection box and select the first 6 dots. Don't forget, go to the top view, zoom out, you can see the ones on the back are selected too. Hit B, hit shift and unselect those. So we only have these ones. Turn the transparency off. Just need to turn it on and off all the times. Hit B, hit shift, so we keep the other ones and unselect these ones. And now just for a tip, we have to hold Alt and Shift to unselect some stuff. Don't unselect these ones because when you hit some of them, it will also turn some off in your dot. And that is something you don't want. So let's select this one again. So how do we do that? Well, just unselect the outer ring. And there is a reason why we don't want the outer ring. I'm just going to leave this one on so we can compare straight away to see what's going on. And there are also sometimes some bad boys. So press B, hold shift and unselect some leftover dots. So with this on our face, go back to materials and then make sure you select the black one and put on assign. And if we go out of edit mode, you can see we have now colored our dots. Now on the first look it looks fine, right? But when we go to modify tab and turn on the subdivision surface, you can see it looks funky. So let's turn this off, go back into edit mode. Then first, in material tab, select the white, assign the white, then hold your Alt and Shift and unselect down here, select the black one, assign, go out of edit mode, go to the modify tab, Turn on the subdivision surface and you can see it looks nice. And just for the sake of it, I'm just going to do this at all of these. And the last one, go out of edit mode, and I've done all the dots. Now if I would turn on the subdivision surface, it looks very nice. Still gonna leave it off. Now we're going to make a nice scene of it. Make sure you save it up with Ctrl S. And you go to camera mode with numpad 0. I'm just gonna rotate with RX. Hold my Ctrl, move it something like this. Hold R, hold Z. Hold Ctrl and just move it something like this. So it doesn't look too natural, but just, you know, as it gets thrown. Now, if we go to render mode, we need to add light. Just hit plane. Then from the top view, I'm going to go into edit mode. Press S and scale it inwards 1, 2. Hit G. Then place it down here. So from all the side, it's 2 blocks off from the edge. Go out of edit mode. Go to modify tab. Add in a mirror. Make sure X and Y are both turned on. Go to camera view with numpad 1, hit G, hit Z, move this up just above the camera, then Shift D to duplicate, hit Z and move this one down underneath the camera. With the one below selected, go to the material tab, select new, call this lamp, then change this to emission and change the color, in this case, to a little bit orangey like this, and just have a look at it. Now if you have a little bit of a bad view, then of course you can just turn this on to, you know, it looks a little bit better. And then select this one, go back to the material tab, select lamp, copy this lamp, call it lamp 2, and change this to a nice opposite color like blue. And or go to the world settings, let's change this grayish color to a little bit more blackish. But don't go lower than 10. It has its reasons for the light. If it's too black, it will look less good. In this case, we need to add a little bit more light. Just give it a tiny little touch more. We're going to add in another plane. Press S for scale. Type in 5. Then from the front view with numpad 1, press R for rotate. Press Y to lock it. Hold your Ctrl and move this like so. Go back to camera view with numpad 0. Now let's press G, let's press X. Without Ctrl, I'm just going to move it all the way that it's just outside the camera. Zoom out for a bit. Hit Shift D to duplicate this. Press G, press X and move this one all the way down here. Let's do the same again. Spawn in a plane, scale it to 5. Go to the side view, hit R, hit X. Make this like so. Back to the camera. Hit G, hit Y. Move this just out here. Shift D to duplicate. Press Y. Move this one down here. And now we're going to give this just a white color. So go to the material tab, select lamp 2. Copy this lamp 2. Make it into a lamp 3. Change the blue color to all white. Very nice. Make sure you do select all the other ones, give it lamp 3. And now you can see it lighten up, but it's a little bit too much. So I'm just going to turn it off to show you how it looks turned off. And I'm just going to give it a 0.1. Just a tiny bitsy touchy. You can do it even a little bit lesser. Going to turn off the overlay and now you can see our dice. But we still need to add a background. In this case, I'm just going to turn the render mode off for now. Going to go up here to scene, select this, add the new scene, add new, and just call this background. Go to the world tab settings, click on new, and change this all the way to the black, because this doesn't affect our light, but nothing is happening. That's just because you need to turn it off and turn it on again. It should change. I had this point before and I need to turn it on and off. Maybe I need to add in a camera. That's one thing we have to do certainly, or else we cannot connect this to our earlier scene. Don't know why this doesn't change to background. Maybe I need to put it on this or that. Got no clue. Yeah, now it does. So sometimes it's just a little bit weird how it works, like turn it on and off. Anyhow, let's go to our scene, open this for a bit. I'm going to press Ctrl S to save it. Then we open this down here and let's go to compositing, excuse me. Turn on use nodes, and now you can see that this down here shows a slightly picture of what we had before in our render. If I just press F12 just for the sake of it and then press escape out of it, the picture should have changed. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you know what I mean. It's like what we see in our render view. So select this one, so it has a white line around it, then hit Shift D to duplicate, and now it just changed it. Very good. Just gonna zoom in. Now we need to change this scene for our background, and we don't see anything because we didn't render it. Now we need to mix this stuff up. So hit Shift A, go to color, add in mix, get this spaghetti string, put it in the one underneath, make a new one, put it in the middle one, and put this one in here. Turn off use alpha. Then we go to the render tab, this one, and then go to film and select transparency. So now if I press F12, we've already seen that slightly, and there we go. We have our dice with colors, with materials, and a black background. And now you can also say like, yeah, but this light is a little bit too soft. Then you just select the light, go to material tab, and for example, change one to 2.5, and also this one, 2.5, press F12. And here we have our dice, just like in the first picture I showed to you. One more tip: if for some reason you rotated this whole thing without holding Ctrl, so if you want to reverse the whole thing, then you cannot get it 100% back onto the grid. Or with other words, what I mean, if I select our dice and go to the rotation and I would type in 0, 0, 0, it's just perfectly back onto the grid again. If you've got some questions or requests, then comment below. If you found this video useful, then give it a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.